Welcome to RYGR Sports. I'm Yash,
And I'm Logan.
and today we'll be talking about the AFC side of the first round of the playoffs. So the first matchup is Houston versus Pittsburgh, and I think this is probably going to be the worst game of the all six games that we have this week. Mainly because the Steelers really don't deserve to be here. I mean, we watched them win a couple days ago against Baltimore in an unsustainable fashion, right? I mean, what's the chance that a kicker misses a kick from 44 yards out? I don't think it's that probable. I also think the Houston as a whole is a substantially better team than what Baltimore had out a couple days ago. And I think this game is probably going to be high scoring for the Houston Texans. And Pittsburgh is probably going to struggle to get over like 14 points. So I'm going to go 31-14 Texans for the first matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at this game on paper, and it's one of those ugly ones that's, not going to be high scoring. There's going to be a lot of punts, a lot of three and outs, a lot of sacks, a lot of that kind of stuff. Two pretty solid defenses here. They have a total of 39.5 for this game, which I believe is the lowest out of any of the wild card games um, that we have. I think Packers Bears might be lower. Packers Bears might be down with that as well, but 39.5 is a really low total. And they have the Texans as 3-point favorites, which, I could definitely see if this was flip-flopped and the Texans were at home and the Steelers were away, I think that line would be closer to 6.5, or
Yeah,
even
because
closer to
you
7.
get +3 for being home. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
Steelers are coming in, 3-point underdogs at home. Just
yeah,
because playing at Pittsburgh is always not an easy thing to do. The Steelers have always been a great home team. They're 6-3 at home this year, so I think this game stays one possession in the first half, and then I think in the second half, the Texans score a touchdown, kick a few field goals. I think they end up winning the game like 20-10 or something like that. I don't think this Pittsburgh offense is, good enough to keep up with Houston. But if their defense can create a few turnovers or maybe even return something to the end zone and, get that crowd going, I think they have a chance, right? This line is 3 for a reason. It's not supposed to be a blowout, but obviously the Texans have a way better team on paper, right? This defense is probably the best defense in the NFL we've seen this season. And, C.J. Stroud is a very solid quarterback. You have superstar receiver Nico Collins. I think if Stroud can throw for, 250 yards and a score, or even 2 scores, I think the Texans get this one done. My score prediction is going to be 2013. I think the Texans win by 7. But, I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers come out here and, get a couple three and outs, kick a few field goals, keep the game close in the first half. I mean, it is a playoff game, so obviously both of these teams are going to be ready to go. I mean, who do you trust more, Stroud or Rodgers? You got to trust
Stroud.
Rodgers more.
I trust Stroud more now. I do.
Well, that missed field goal the other night from the Loop kid on the Ravens was a blessing for Pittsburgh, right? They should not be in this position. This game should be being played in Baltimore right now, which would be a totally different story. I think the Ravens would definitely give the Texans a little bit more of a game. But will we see some of that Pittsburgh Steelers voodoo magic again? Maybe. Anything can happen, but I'm going to lean Houston here. I think they win by 7 in a not a very entertaining game. It's going to be cold. Both quarterbacks not very great. Two good defenses. Texans move on.
Okay, yeah. One thing, or sorry, the next game that we have here is going to be Buffalo and Jacksonville. I think this is going to be the game of the week. This has the potential to be the game of the playoffs. I think. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is at an all-time high right now. He's playing the best football of his life at literally the best time he could be playing. Meanwhile, Josh Allen and the Bills are rolling. They do have some offensive issues with their play calling being, I'd say, predictable with a lot of the plays that they run. I mean, they run them really well, so that there's that. But I think this is going to be a monster game, especially when it comes to scoring. I think both quarterbacks go for over 300 total yards. Um, I think they both get 3 to 4 total touchdowns each. I think this game's going to be in the high 30s. I'm going to go 38-35 Buffalo, but I would not be surprised if it's 38-35 Jacksonville. I think whoever possesses the ball last is the one to win the game. I mean, it's exciting. It's good to see like a fresh matchup in the playoffs. Usually we see pretty generic matchups in the playoffs. We see like Bills Chiefs or things like that. But I mean, it's kind of nice seeing these young quarterbacks kind of go at it because we haven't really seen Stroud. Aside from one playoff game, we haven't seen Trevor Lawrence aside from a playoff game or two. And then looking at
Right.
Denver and then the other teams, I mean, it looks really exciting. But I think this is going to be the game to watch. I believe it's Sunday, 4 p.m. If I'm not wrong. Or 1 p.m.
It is Sunday, 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to go. My final prediction for this game is 38-35. I'm going to go Buffalo, but I will not be shocked if Jacksonville is able to pull it off.
Yeah, absolutely. This game has a total of 51.5, which is the highest total game out of any of the playoff games. So, yeah, they expect this game to be high scoring. I think it does end up high scoring. But I think what's really interesting with this matchup is that I think we're finally starting to see the ceiling of Trevor Lawrence and why this kid was picked number one overall. He's finally breaking out into a really good quarterback, right? He finished the season with 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That's a pretty solid ratio. He led his team to 13 wins. I can't remember the last time Jacksonville won 13 games.
I think it was
And
Saxonville when they played. No, I think they were 12-4.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I mean, they're
13
still
wins is
pretty
a
good.
lot
Yeah,
of wins.
yeah.
He threw for 4,000 yards. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is borderline, a top 10, top 12 quarterback in the NFL. And it's really nice to see because they didn't give up on him, right? He had a couple of really tough years in Jacksonville. They were doubting him. They were saying, "Oh, why'd we waste our pick on this kid? He's trash. He's not very good." Well, now you're 13-4, and you're the number 3. I think they're 3, right? 3 seed. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're three.
Now you're the
Buffalo's
3 seed in the AFC, and you have a real shot of winning another playoff game. I know they had that comeback against the Chargers a few years ago, which was insane. But this one's gonna be really back and forth. Obviously, you have to trust Josh Allen in this situation more than Trevor Lawrence because he's done it before. But I think there's also a lot of pressure on Josh Allen in this game. If this guy wants, a legacy, he needs to start winning in the playoffs, right? You talk about the MVPs, you talk about, oh, Josh Allen is a top 2, Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the NFL, but, he hasn't reached the Super Bowl yet, so you really can't give him too much credit yet. I know he has an MVP, right? But he hasn't led his team to any further accomplishments because he's ran into Patrick Mahomes every year. But this year there is no Patrick Mahomes. So if anyone needs to go to the Super Bowl, it is Josh Allen because time is running out for this dude. You gotta win something. So real opportunity here against a really good Jacksonville team to go out there and prove why you're one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Allen really didn't have the best season this year. He only threw for 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 3,600 yards. Really not great for his standards, obviously. But I think the final score of this game is going to be... I think it's very high scoring. I'm going to go 31-28. I think the Bills do end up winning, but not without a tight... not without a contest here from the Jaguars. I think, Trevor Lawrence has a good game, but I think, Josh Allen and his running ability, James Cook, 1,600-yard rusher, I think they're a little bit too much for Jacksonville. And I think they kind of overwhelm them on offense a little bit. Maybe a late touchdown from the Jaguars makes it a 3-point game or something along the lines of that. But at the end of the day, I trust Josh Allen to win this game more than I trust Trevor Lawrence. Even though the Jaguars were a very, very good team this year, I think Buffalo gets it done in a close one.
All right. So for our third and final matchup of Wild Card Weekend, it's the Chargers and my Patriots. I am going to go New England because I do trust Drake May a little bit more than I do an injured Justin Herbert. I'm gonna go a very tight ball game, and the game is in New England, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 27-20 New England. I think the game remains pretty close up till the fourth quarter, where the Patriots lead like a nice late game winning drive, and on the opposite end, our defense is able to kind of stop the Chargers from driving down the field. I think this is also a really good game to watch because this is going to show a lot of people what Drake May is really made of, and or what Justin Herbert is really made of.
True.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of people are skeptical on Drake May's side, saying that he's had a really easy schedule, this that, and that's why he seems so good. And then on the flip side, Justin Herbert, how they're saying, he's like the if guy, like what if guy, right? Um, so this is a big game for both quarterbacks, and I am going 27-20, like I said. Uh, but I would not be surprised if the Chargers were able to pull out a win either, because their defense is exceptional.
Right. Yeah. When you look at these two teams, both really good defenses. The Patriots have had a really good defense all season long, and the Chargers have been really consistent as well. Um, I do think the Chargers have a better team than the Patriots on paper. Now I know that might be surprising to say because the Patriots won 14 games. How are they not the better team? Um, I think the Chargers have a better offense. I think their defense. I give them a slight edge on defense. I think Justin Herbert is going to outplay Drake May in this game, and I think the Chargers go on the road, and I think the Chargers win this game. Now, you know, you might say, but how the Patriots are 14-3? They're at home. How do they lose this game? Because once again, you put a young quarterback like Drake May in this situation, and you really don't know how he's going to perform under this type of pressure. Justin Herbert, although he did choke a 28-0 lead, I believe it was, he's been in this situation before. And I think the Chargers end up winning the game. I would say something like 24-20 or 21-17, something along the lines of that. Um, and I think the Patriots fans go home really disappointed after this game. I think the Chargers defense suffocates Drake May. I think they put a lot of pressure on him, sack him a few times, and Justin Herbert makes a few key plays to win the Chargers this game. And I think they pull off the upset. Patriots are only getting 3.5 points, right? So it's not a huge line. The odds makers, have this game as a pretty close game, basically a one possession game, as the 3.5 says. A total of 46.5. So we're expecting some points in this one. But I think the Chargers have more playmakers. They have Hampton, who's now back after that long injury that he sustained, right? You got Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnson, who's had a phenomenal year. And then you have old reliable Keenan Allen there as well. Those three receivers, and then Justin Herbert, who has one of the best arms in the NFL. I think that offense does just enough to go on the road and win this game. Now, the Patriots are really going to need to settle everything down in the first quarter. I think if they come out and they go down the field, Drake May leads them to a touchdown. They go up 10-0, something like that. I think the Patriots win. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Justin Herbert comes out slinging, and I think they probably lead at halftime something like 13-7 or 13-3, something like that. And I think they end up winning the game in the fourth quarter. Defense makes a big stop, gets a turnover, a fumble, something like that. And this is going to be my upset pick. I think every favorite wins in the first round except the Patriots. I'm going to take the Chargers on the road. In a very, very good game to watch. As a football fan, this is going to be one of the games that you want to tune into because, you have an MVP candidate in Drake May. The Chargers are always going to be entertaining, right? They had that game against the Eagles. I believe it was a Thursday night game. They played the Eagles, and that was one of the best games of the regular season. So that defense is going to have to come up clutch again if they want to beat this Patriots team, who's really, really good, right? This team has a lot of great players, and that's why they're 14-3, because they're good. But I am going to take the Chargers. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to take them to win 23-17, and I think they move on.
Okay. So then we got On the AFC side, we got the Broncos as the number one seed. I think the Broncos are not as good as the record may seem. Defensively, they're one of the best in the league. Their offense, they have shown signs of big like good capabilities, but I just don't think that they're good enough to kind of compete in the Super Bowl
Yeah, I
as
agree.
of right now. I'm not saying it can't happen because they only got to really win 2 games in a row to kind of get there, but I don't think the Broncos right now, especially offensively, are capable of taking the team to the Super Bowl. I do think a couple years down the road, when everything's more set and all the players are more experienced, I think they have a better shot. But as of right now, I don't have the Broncos getting out of the divisional round.
Yeah, I am going to agree with you on this one. I don't think they win a playoff game, which is very surprising because once again, this team is 14-3. But I think the Patriots and the Broncos have one thing in common this year. They have beat up on bad opponents, and I don't think they're as good as their record shows. I mean, you take a look at this Broncos schedule, I see a lot of one possession. I see a lot of wins by 3 points. I mean, let's count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11 of their 14 wins have come by one possession. So, a lot of games this year could have gone, not in the Broncos' way, and they could have won 10 games instead of 14 games or even 9 games and barely squeaked in or something like that. But, I think Bo Nix is a very solid quarterback, and he has nothing but time to grow, right? I think it's his third season in the NFL,
Second,
or
I
it could
believe.
be his second.
Second,
Second?
yeah. Your second, I think. Yeah.
It's his second season in the NFL, and he's really solid. He can really do it all. He has a good arm. He can run. I don't think he has a whole lot of playmakers in Denver, but they're the type of team where you don't really need one, right? That defense is going to do their job and create some turnovers and put the offenses in positions where they don't have to go down the field too much. So, you know, I believe who do they play? I mean, if the Chargers win, they play the Chargers, right?
Yeah, I believe they either play Dude, either play the Chargers or Buffalo, most likely, assuming that
I
they
think
both win.
Buffalo definitely handles Denver. I think the Chargers would give them a little bit of a closer game, considering that is a divisional game, right?
They
They've already
play
played each
Buffalo
other
or
twice.
Houston, actually,
Buffalo or Houston?
assuming that they'd win.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably take those two teams over the Broncos. I'm not gonna lie. But accomplishing this number one seed is something that you have to be very, very proud of this team, right? I mean, Bo Nix, young kid, comes in here, leads his team to 14 wins, number one seed in the AFC. Nothing but props to him. And they definitely can win a playoff game. They definitely have the talent and the defense to go out there and beat the Texans. Maybe not the Bills, but if they do play the Texans, I think that game is going to be another low scoring barn burner. Um, but I don't think they're as good as a 14-3 record shows. So
Cool.
that's gonna be it for my AFC for our AFC playoff preview. If you guys have any predictions or any favorites, any preferable games that are better than others, then comment down below. We'll read everything, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Just before we go, I actually do have one question for you. What do you think would be what do you think would be the best Super Bowl matchup to watch for
Wow.
this one?
A lot of really good potential matchups this year, right? Because you don't have a Patrick Mahomes, you don't have a Lamar Jackson. Um, I really would like to see Buffalo in the Super Bowl.
Yes,
I
Buffalo or
think Josh,
Jacksonville.
I think Josh Allen really needs a Super Bowl appearance. Not even a Super Bowl win. I think he just really needs to get there to, prove some of the haters wrong. So I'm gonna go Buffalo on the AFC side, and on the NFC side, I think it would also be really cool if the Rams or the Seahawks make it to the Super Bowl. I mean, either of those two teams would be my dream matchup for this game because all three of those teams that I just mentioned really deserve a Super Bowl win. I know the Rams won, I believe it was 2021, right?
Yeah,
Or
against
no,
Cincinnati.
the Patriots won. Or no, the Rams beat the Bengals. They beat the
Yeah,
Bengals in
2022, I
22,
believe.
right?
Yeah.
I know Matt Stafford already has a Super Bowl, but for him to get back there and win another one would be really special. So I'll take the Rams. I'll take the Rams versus the Bills would be my dream matchup, and that would be a really high scoring game. But that would be the one that I
Yeah.
would most look forward to.
For me, aside from New England, obviously, I'd love to see like the Bills or Jaguars versus like the Seahawks or the 49ers or the
Wow.
Bears. I think that would be fun. Like I want to see like a new quarterback kind of go in and compete
Yeah.
in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see like somebody who's already been there. Um, I don't really want to see the Eagles, mainly because the fan
Yeah.
base.
No.
I don't
No
really
good.
mind the actual team. I just can't deal with the fan base too much. I mean, I wanted them to win last year against Kansas City, but that's it. No more. Um, I would love to see Sam. I would love to see Brock Purdy get another shot because um, I think he played more than good enough to win that Super Bowl against Kansas City. I think really coaching and I think Drake Greenlaw getting hurt cost them the game,
Yeah.
but mainly coaching because they had the ball at the 3 yard line in overtime, and instead of going for a touchdown, they kick a field goal on fourth down. Right. Um, I think that's a horrible play call because I mean you had one chance to win the game. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would love.
There's a lot of really young quarterbacks in this year's playoffs.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean I'm looking at
I
it,
mean, if
especially
you
the
go through it right
AFC.
now, you got Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May. I mean, Bryce Young, Williams. I mean, that's like six guys right there that are, I believe, probably under 25 years old.
I mean,
So,
you look at the NFC, right? The Seahawks have been to the Super Bowl. They've won. The Panthers haven't won a Super Bowl yet. Um, Everybody else has in the NFC side. But then you look at the AFC. The Chargers have not made a Super Bowl. The Jaguars have not made a Super Bowl yet. The Bills have not won a Super Bowl yet, and the Texans have yet to make a Super Bowl. So you have three teams in the AFC who haven't even made a Super Bowl, let alone win it. So
right,
it'd be
yeah.
really exciting to see an AFC team win it. So if it's not new, I'm hoping it's New England. But if it's not us, I'd love to see Buffalo or Jacksonville take it home.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. See you next time.